Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Michael Gaeta. Just a short message today. With all the vaccine hysteria and the moves to force vaccinate the population or certain aspects of the population, which is forcing people to receive drugs into their body against their will, wanted to just underline the basic fact that the issue is not whether vaccines are helpful or harmful. The issue is not whether vaccines are safe or unsafe, whether they are necessary or unnecessary. The issue is personal bodily sovereignty, that no human being, for any reason, should have control over another person's body without their consent. And so this is a very key area, that the issue is informed consent. So free, voluntary, fully informed consent to what happens in one's own personal bodily sphere. That is the issue. The issue is healthcare freedom of choice, that all medical interventions are voluntary and chosen by the person. There's also issues here of religious freedom, that a person has a right to, and it's ensconced in our Constitution, and that there is religious freedom to practice one's own personal, sincere religious beliefs. Whether you're affiliated with an organized religion or not is irrelevant. That your own sincere personal religious beliefs can never be interfered with and must be protected. And so these are the real issues of informed consent, healthcare freedom of choice, personally bodily sovereignty, and also parental rights, that the government is not in control of parental decisions. The government can advise, but it is a parental choice. And my old home state of New York has been a complete place of insanity. Recently, thankfully, the insane ban in New York, in a county in New York, to basically force vaccinate anyone if they wanted to be in a public space was overturned, thankfully, by a judge. And I also want to quote to you, just to close this video, the New York governor, who is an attorney himself, Andrew Cuomo, who, I'm not his biggest fan, but he said wonderful things on Tuesday in a radio interview, that it is legally questionable whether you can force vaccinate a person against their will, to give a medical treatment to someone against their will. And to quote Governor Cuomo, it's a serious public health concern, but it's also a serious First Amendment issue, and it's going to be a constitutional and legal question. Do we have the right, he continues, does society, government have the right to say, you must vaccinate your child because I'm afraid your child is going to infect my child, even if you don't want it done, and even if it violates your religious beliefs? So that is an issue that's going to be legally questionable. It's already being legally challenged as unconstitutional, which it is, and I'm sure it's going to go down that path. And so there were a couple of hundred cases, a few hundred cases in New York of measles. Keep in mind that there's over 400 cases of measles in Germany, which has 1/5 the U.S. population. And measles outbreaks will always happen, even with 100% vaccine compliance, because of vaccine failure. That's called primary vaccine failure, non-responders. And also because of secondary vaccine failure, the vaccines wear off within 2 or 3 years, typically. And measles is a non-serious 1-week rash. In all of these hundreds of measles cases around the country, no one has died. And no one has died in over a decade, if not several decades, from the measles alone. And so this is a 1-week rash, just like the chickenpox, and does not require this ridiculous, baseless, very dangerous hysteria. So what to do about it is to take a stand, not against vaccines, but for choice. Go to nvicadvocacy.org. Also go to learntherisk.org. and take action about how to preserve and expand healthcare freedom of choice. So thanks for listening. Get in the game, again, not against vaccines, but to preserve and expand healthcare freedom of choice and personal and bodily sovereignty, religious freedom, and parental rights. Get to it, and also see michaelgaeta.com for more in my blog on this issue. Thanks for listening.